Hello friends, welcome to Antenna 3 lecture series. Today we will see about the one of the type of horn antenna, that is conical horn antenna. I have made earlier 2 or 3 videos regarding with the horn antenna basics, its application, advantages, disadvantages, its basic structure. Also the other types are that is conical sectoral horn, E-plane horn and H-plane horn. Also its construction, design consideration, application and advantages. I have made one video regarding with the pyramidal horn. So these are the types of horns antenna. So now we are seeing the conical horn antenna. So we can see in the picture there is a cone shape like structure of the horn, and the cylindrical waveguides are provided to feed this horn. So before moving to the actual part of conical horn antenna, I want to I want to tell you about the importance of this flaring at the output side of waveguide. As you know, waveguide is the device or a rectangular or cylindrical metal pipe which used to feed the antenna, or we can say which is used to transmit radio waves from transmitter to receiver, or it can also use for reception of radio waves from the space and given it to the receiver. So it is basic communication medium between two devices and which is used to travel the radio waves. It carries the radio waves from one point to another point. So to feed the antennas, we require the waveguides, but in the case of conical horn antenna, we require cylindrical waveguides because there is a cone shape like structure of the horn. Before, in the case of pyramidal horn and sectoral horn structure, the opening of the flaring or the opening of the waveguide horn is of a rectangular or square type. So in this case, we have provided rectangular waveguide, but in the case of conical horn, the waveguides are cylindrically mostly used. So, what is the objective of providing this flaring at the output side of opening of the waveguide? So, as we know, the waveguide is closed at one end and open at another end. So, from the opening of the waveguide, the radio waves will transmit in this space. But if we consider there is no flaring, then what will happen? The radio waves which are coming from the waveguide will not totally transmit in the space, but some waves gets reflected from the opening of the waveguide and towards they get reflected back to the transmitter. So due to what happens, there is increasing standing wave ratio. That means so many standing waves will increase in the waveguide. There is so much loss of power. Also efficiency will decreases of the transmitter. Sometimes it's also happens that there is a overheating of transmitter. So due to avoid these conditions, these hazardous conditions, we provide the flaring at the opening of waveguide. So what is the purpose of providing the flaring is that there should be impedance matching between free space and the waveguide. Okay, I will again repeat, there should be impedance matching between free space and the waveguide. If there is a perfectly matched impedance between these two, then the radio waves which are coming from the waveguide which want to transmit in the space will easily transmit in the space before any minimum reflection, or there will be no standing wave ratios in the waveguide. So this is main objective of providing this flaring at the opening of waveguide. Okay, I will again repeat, there should be impedance matching between free space and the waveguide. So to match the impedance, there is flaring is provided at the opening of the waveguide. So due to that flaring, the tapering of the flaring which used to match the impedance between free space and the waveguide. So as there is no obstacle to the radio waves which are coming from the waveguide, they will easily transmit in the space. Okay, so the directivity and the gain of the horn antenna will increase because of insertion of flaring at the opening of waveguide. So these are some basic principle of horn antenna and how it transmit in the space. Now we will see some basic description of the conical horn antenna. As we see, a horn antenna or microwave antenna. Microwave horn is an antenna that consists of flaring metal waveguide shape like horn to direct radio waves in the beam. So, what is conical horn? A horn in the shape of cone with circular cross section. They are used with the cylindrical waveguides. So, as we see from this diagram, there is a conical structure of the horn and the circular cross section which is at the aperture, we can say aperture or the opening of this horn, there is a circular cross section and they are used with the cylindrical waveguides. So to improve the radiation efficiency and directivity of the beam, the waveguide should be provided with extended aperture to make the abrupt discontinuity of the wave into gradual transformation, so that all the energy in forward direction gets radiated. This can be termed as flaring, okay, which I have already explained. So what is the use of this flaring and what is the objective providing this flaring at the opening of waveguide? Now this can be done using horn. And now we will see the silent features of the conical horn. So the first point is operating frequency. Horns are widely used as antennas at UHF, that is ultra high frequency, and the microwave frequencies above 300 MHz. The gain of antenna is up to 25 decibels with typically 10 to 20 decibels between it. The usable bandwidth of the horn antenna is typically of order of 10:1 and can be up to 20:1, okay, so that it has very wide bandwidth as compared to other antennas. If we take one example, that it can operate between 1 gigahertz to up to 20 gigahertz frequency. So that is the meaning of this line, that is usable bandwidth of horn antenna is typically of the order of 10:1 and can be up to 20:1. Also it has very high gain, that is 25 decibels, which is very large value, with 10 to 20 decibels being typical. So there are some points, that is horn becomes small if flare angle is small, its radiation pattern is directive, wavefront is spherical, and mouth area is small. The flare angle is related to the axial length. So this is regarding with the silent features of the conical horn. So we will move forward. For the geometry of conical horn, we can see from this figure there is angle psi suffix c, that is flaring angle. We can see from the geometry capital L is the axial length, okay, or flaring length, we can say the flaring length. Small dm is equal to 2a, where a is the radius of this cross section or the aperture, and dm is the diameter of the opening of cross section or we can say the aperture. So from this geometry of conical horn, we can derive some equations and the standard values for the aperture efficiency epsilon ap, also the directivity of uniform circular aperture, and the loss due to aperture efficiency. So we will see it one by one. So the basic formula of the directivity of conical horn antenna is given by capital D suffix d, which is measured in decibels, is equal to 10 log 10 epsilon ap of 4 pi lambda square pi a square, which is equal to 10 log 10 of c upon lambda square minus ls. So where the first formula is directivity of uniform circular aperture, we can see from this figure, and second one is loss due to aperture efficiency. So the aperture efficiency epsilon ap is usually 51% of conical horn antenna, where L is the axial length and psi c is the flaring angle. So please remember these three formulas, that is first one is the directivity of conical horn, the second one is directivity of uniform circular aperture, and the third one is the loss due to aperture efficiency. So the directivity of conical horn is totally depend upon the directivity of uniform circular aperture and the loss due to aperture efficiency. So we will move forward. For the design of conical horn, the same geometry figure is used here. So we can calculate the some standard designs for the conical horn which is used to improve the directivity of conical horn. As we have seen earlier in the last formula, that is directivity of conical horn is totally depend upon the directivity of aperture, okay, or we can say axial length and diameter of the aperture. So these are basic dimensions which will contribute in the increase in the directivity of conical horn antenna. So from this figure we can derive the loss figure in decibels. The formula for the loss figure is given below this diagram, that is ls is equal to 0.8 minus 1.71 s plus 26.25 s square minus 17.79 s cube, where small s is equal to dm square divided by 8l lambda, where dm is the diameter of aperture. We can see from this figure, also it is shown in the last figure also, that is in the geometry of conical horn. dm is equal to 2a, that is a is the radius of the aperture, or we can say cross section. So s is maximum phase deviation, okay, which has formula dm square upon 8l lambda. So for the optimum directivity, the equation will be dm is equal to under root of 3ly, 3l lambda. So please remember this equation which is used to improve the directivity of conical horn using this axial length and the wavelength, and also the equation of loss figure and the equation of maximum phase deviation. These are very important equations to design any conical horn antenna and also to improve its directivity. And the above equations are of the directivity of conical horn, loss aperture efficiency, and the directivity of uniform circular aperture. So we will move forward. So we can see there is one graph which shows the relation between directivity d suffix c and with the diameter of horn aperture, that is dm, in the wavelength. So we can see from this graph, as the diameter of the horn aperture increases, okay, as the diameter of horn aperture is increases, so on the x axis we can see the diameter of horn aperture denoted by small dm, which we have seen in the geometry and the design specification of conical horn antenna. And on the y axis there is a directivity. So we can see the relation between diameter of horn aperture and the directivity, that is we are increasing diameter of the horn aperture, okay, then the directivity will also increases. The middle line shows capital L, which is the flaring length or axial length. So for the starting point there is a 0.5 lambda of the flaring length, but as we increasing the diameter of horn aperture, the directivity is increasing also, and there is increase in the axial length, that is L is equal to 75 lambda. So the directivity is totally depend upon the diameter of the horn aperture, that is dm, and the axial length capital L. Okay, so these are the values of axial length against the directivity, that is 0.5 lambda, 1 lambda, 2 lambda, 4 lambda, up to 75 lambda. Also there is increase in the directivity from 8 decibels to up to 30 decibels. So this gives the relation between directivity and the diameter of horn aperture with increasing the length of capital L, which is nothing but the flaring length. So the next graph is of the directivity versus normalized antenna length. Okay, so there are total two plots, that is blue one is the new technology horn length, and the next another one is the red in color, that is conical corrugated horn length. So we can see the directivity, the relation between directivity and normalized antenna length. So here is also, as the antenna length is increases from 0 to 40, the directivity is also increasing. That is at initial point for up to 2 to 3 length of normalized antenna length in wavelength, the directivity is almost 0. Then again it increases up to 32 for the normalized antenna length has value 30. So this gives a relation between directivity and antenna length, that is, as the antenna length is increases, the directivity of the conical horn antenna is increases. So please remember, these are the basic plots or the graphs for the directivity and the diameter of horn aperture, and this is for antenna length and the directivity. So next graph is of, again it shows relation between capital L, which is the axial length. We can see it from this figure. One small geometrical figure is drawn in this plot, that is L lambda is the axial length or flaring length, and d lambda is the diameter of aperture or the diameter of cross section. We have seen these formulas earlier in this video. So in this graph we can see the relation between gain and the axial length, also gain with the diameter of aperture. So here also, as we increasing the length of this conical horn antenna, sorry, as we increasing the length of this conical horn antenna, the gain is also increasing. Okay, we can see from this graph, the top line shows the relation between gain and the axial length L, which shows that as we are increasing the axial length of this conical horn antenna, the gain is also increasing. The second line shows the relation between gain and the diameter of the aperture. We can see this, as the diameter of aperture increases, the gain is also increasing. In this case, the gain is mostly depend upon the diameter of the aperture as compared to axial length of the conical horn. We can see this, as we increases the diameter of the aperture, that is from about 2 to 6. So for this change, for this range, there is sudden increase in the gain, that is up to 24 decibels. So we can say that the gain of the conical horn antenna is mostly depend upon the diameter of the aperture as compared to the length of the axial as compared to axial length of the antenna. So these are the basic three plots which shows the relation between length of the angle, length of the conical horn, diameter of the aperture with respect to gain and the directivity of the conical horn antenna. So please remember, these are the three plots which are very important. Those are very important for designing of the conical horn antenna also. So we will move forward for the last part of this video, that is application of horn antenna, application of conical horn antenna. So these are the applications of conical horn antenna. The first one is, they are used as a feed antennas called feed horns for larger antenna structures such as parabolic antennas. So that means it can be used to feed the large antennas, large antenna structures such as parabolic antennas. It has advantages of more directivity, moderate directivity, low standing wave ratio. Okay, this is due to flaring is provided at the opening of waveguide. Broad bandwidth, we have seen that is it is up to 10:1 or 20:1 ratio, and simple in construction and adjustment. They are used for astronomical studies also, used in the microwave applications, used in the microwave radiometers, in radar guns, and standard calibration antennas to measure the gain of the antenna. So this is very wide applications of conical horn antenna in the case of microwave applications, in radars also in the calibration of gain of other antennas, and which is also used to feed the larger antenna structure such as parabolic antennas. So this is very important part of the conical horn antenna, that is its relations, which is shown by this graph. These three graphs which shows the directivity, gain, aperture length relations. This is the basic design of conical horn, which gives the equations of how to obtain optimal directivity with the help of diameter of aperture and with the help of loss figure. Here are three formulas, that is loss figure LS, small s is maximum phase deviation and dm is the diameter of aperture or the cross section, and this is the geometry of the conical horn, which gives also three equations, that is directivity of conical horn, loss due to aperture efficiency, and the directivity of uniform circular aperture. So please remember, these are the design considerations of the conical horn antenna, those graphs and the applications. Also we have seen the structure and the working of the conical horn antenna and the objective of providing the flaring at the opening of waveguide. So in the next lecture we will discuss about the corrugated conical horn. So that's it for conical horn antenna for today. Thank you.